Sorry, on the phone with Jeremy's dad.
He's not calling me, it must be your dad. That's why.
Calls me because he has to call me.
He loves you, Billy, and you love him. It's just a father-son relationship.
He calls you out of pleasure.
See, that's what we gotta go. They gotta square it up.
I'm good at making my head hurt.
They gotta square it up on that end. It's gotta be exactly flat across here. It's gotta be, because their boat will face up there, so that's all gotta be. They gotta make sure it's they call it square, flat across that end. Can't even be a ½ inch off. So that's what they're doing. 35-foot steel cable, they call it a wire. It's a 35-foot steel cable, and they lay it. They lay it, and there's a ratchet. It's a big barrel ratchet with threaded ratchet where they can tighten it up.
About 5 foot slack.
And there's some chain links all involved with that, and they can adjust using that barrel ratchet, screw type ratchet, and
Couple inches.
and the connections to.
Tie wire.
Anyway, I don't think I described that really well, but I'm trying to watch the video and describe. But that's how you square up, and that's how they square up a toe. See, they're looking at it down the side. He'll flatten out, and then they'll look at it across here and make sure that it's all perfectly flat, because it's got to be square. They call it square or flat down there, because that's where the boat will face up. Will actually be on that end, faced up right here, facing back this way. So, and the boat's wider than this barge, so, you know, we can't be touching here and not touching here, or, you know, vice versa, or we'll set cockeyed. So it's got to be, like I said, what we call it, square. And that's what he's doing. They were catching a wire, and then they shove up a little bit, and they'll, you know, see where it's at, and then they'll adjust it.
I bump ahead, but I gotta take up a link.
See, now they'll take up a link. And just FYI for you mates out there, a link, if you've got a single part, that's 6 inches. If you've got 2 part, that's 3 inches, and you keep accordingly. Those are 6-inch links. And however many parts of wire that you have, or how many times, or that's how many times you use to shorten or lengthen up your lead. Anyway, a little mate talk there, y'all.
Pull back anytime.
There's little tricks like that, and
About 3 foot of slack.
I mean, I know guys that can catch it. They could just sit there and lay a wire and catch it, and then maybe take a couple turns on a ratchet, and they're good.
Couple inches.
You know, and there's different fittings. I mean, there's a lot of variables, you know. But the old hands, it's something that just nothing can beat it except experience. I mean, it's that's all there is to it. I was a young stud mate, big muscle bound boy, and I could throw rigging, and I knew the basics of it. But I had them old guys that would just do it. They could eyeball it, and they could, you know, they could beat me with experience. You know, I'd be over there big muscled up, throwing rigging around, doing. I could move a lot of weight quicker than they could, but they still had that, just, you know, something about this job, that experience level. Same way with the wheelhouse. I was a young cocky pilot, thought I knew everything once, but now I'm older and I realize that I was a young cocky pilot that didn't know a lot back then.
What was that? Dustin's nephew.
So good.
But what I lacked in knowledge, I made up in balls. That's for damn sure.
Thank you.
Anyway, that's putting a barge in. That's kind of what's involved, though. They get wires on that end. They catch what they call the opposite, so it'll keep from going up or moving. And then
They can get that one if you want to get, you and the mate want to get together, get it started on the rig account.
they'll count up rig and all that. Anyway, that's kind of how that is. That's what we got going, or what the guys got going. Good folks here, man. Good folks here at Bricky's Mill.